What up, everybody? It's Pauper MTG coming back at you with actual Pauper content this time, back due to popular demand. So we have a cool little deck here. It's supposed to sort of, abuse Scrapyard Salvo, and if you don't know what that does, it's a 3-mana cost sorcery. Scrapyard Salvo deals damage to target player equal to the number of artifact cards in your graveyard. So the name of the game is get a bunch of artifacts in your graveyard, cast Scrapyard Salvo for the million.
Wow.
Seems pretty good.
Very good.
Let's start with the lands here. We got 4 copies of Darksteel Citadel. It's an indestructible artifact land. Taps for colorless. Moving on, we got 4 Great Furnace. Same thing, but destructible and makes red.
Yep.
2 copies of Mountain. Just the regular Mountain. Nothing
Sure.
special there. 4 copies of Seed of the Synod. Makes blue mana artifact land. Vault of Whispers makes black mana. Also is an artifact land. We got 4 copies of Disciple of the Vaults. It is a 1-mana cost creature, 1/1. Whenever an artifact is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, we have target opponent lose 1 life. So if we're already sacking a bunch of artifacts, it's just salt in the wound.
Just beat them up, yeah. Makes your Scrapyard Salvo even better.
It makes it even better.
It's like double.
4 copies of Galvanic Blast. This card is insane!
In this deck, it's pretty good, yeah.
1 mana cost. It deals 2 damage to target creature or player, but if I have 3 artifacts in play, it deals 4 damage to that creature or player. That's like...
It's 4 damage.
It's better
for
lightning
1 mana.
bolt.
It's like Flame Slash,
And if
but...
I'm already burning them out with like these things, it's like, whoa.
Wow.
That's... If I get all 4 of these, that's freaking 16 damage right there. The job is mostly done at that point. Moving on, we got 4 copies of Chromatic Sphere. 1 mana cost artifact, you pay 1, you sacrifice it, and you can add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and you also draw a card. And Chromatic Star, which is kind of the same, however there is one caveat. When Chromatic Star is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card. So I can sack that to like an Atog, and that would still draw me the card, whereas Chromatic Sphere would not do that.
Right.
We also have 2 copies of Pyrite Spellbomb. It's a 1 mana cost artifact. Goes into the graveyard, fuels up your Scrapyard Salvo. Also, it can be a quick shock, or if you need the extra card, you can just cycle it. It's alright. I mean, you can just leave it in play. I mean, a lot of people just I can't play my Delver now because I see that Pyrite Spellbomb.
Right,
Oh.
right.
2 copies of Terrarion. It's kind of the same sort of deal as these things, except for it comes into play tapped, and you need to pay 2 to sack it, and you can add 2 mana of any combination of colors to your mana pool, and you draw a card. And this also works with the Atog in that you can sack it
Without having to activate its effect, yeah.
Yep. Moving on to the 2-drop slot, you got 2 copies of Perilous Research, draw 2 cards and sacrifice a permanent. If you're sacrificing a Terrarion, if you're sacrificing a Chromatic Star, or an Ichor Wellspring, you also get to draw an additional card. So effectively this can be draw 3 cards. Or you could leave this up with your Atog out, and someone tries to kill it, you can respond by Perilous Researching.
And can we take a moment to admire that card art? His research is so perilous that his head may be sliced in like a fucking ham or something.
It's like my favorite movie,
What
Resident
are you?
Evil.
What are you trying to research that would involve this I mean, it's surely perilous, but
Maybe he's wondering who tattooed that dragon on his forehead when
it's
he
like a
was asleep.
snake or something. I don't know.
Okay, 4 copies of Atog, 2 mana cost, 1/2. Speaking of cool art, this guy's pretty cool.
Brr.
Anyway, 1/2 for a 2-drop. Sacrifice an artifact. It gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So if you're already sacrificing artifacts, this guy gets huge. He can punch through for a lot of damage, and then finish him off with a Scrapyard Salvo or Disciple of the Vault or whatever.
Yep.
The name of the game is Synergy, man.
Yep.
We got 4 copies of Ichor Wellspring. It's just an artifact, 2 mana cost. When it comes into play, you draw a card. When it dies, you also get to draw a card. So you can sack that to Atog. You can sack it to everything. It's super good. Pretty good. Moving forward, 3-drop slot. 4 copies of Krark-Clan Grunt. This is the only guy I'm not really that sure of in this deck.
Sure.
But effectively, it's like a much worse Atog.
Right.
It has the ability to sacrifice an artifact, and it gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. So, just another sack outlet, basically. Can also punch through for some damage, although not as much as Atog. We also have 4 copies of Scrapyard Salvo, and we already went through that. You know what that does.
Yep.
It's the best. 5-drop slot, but though not really a 5-drop. We got Thoughtcast. affinity for artifacts, draw 2 cards. So hopefully we'll be casting this thing for like 1 mana, just to keep our hand nice and full of burn and things to sack and all that jazz.
Right.
And that's about it for the deck tech. Dan, do you have anything to add?
No.
Perfect. We'll see you guys for matches.